HTZ and ENG. Now, by the way, again, my goal in trading is to just devastate the averages. I want to be making large percentages. And if you ever want to know what alpha is, and a lot of people, Brad, we've done this several times. A lot of people ask us, what is alpha? Well, at the very top of our toolbar, you can see the percentages that the averages were up or down. And it was all about half or a little bit more than 0.5%. In other words, nothing going on. So while the market was down today overall, you would want to be up. That's alpha.
Let me ask you something, Dan. If you were flat today, would that still be positive alpha?
I believe so. Yeah, you want to be just going in the opposite direction. Well, not in the opposite, but in this case, if the market is losing and you are simply not losing, you have alpha. Like, for example, let's say you got Alan, by the way, it seems like you're the only one who can't hear it. But the market is losing audio. Brother?
Yeah, your audio is coming through. Alan, you may want to maybe log off and log back in, or just check your audio settings.
Okay, so right here, again, you see the indexes, and let's say that you happen to have just sold your positions, and the next day some horrible thing happened and the market was down gigantically. Okay, like for example with the pandemic or whatever, let's say you just happen to have gotten yourself into cash, which is a position, before the pandemic. Well, then if you did not get back into it and were flat while the market was going down, Brad, you are still capturing alpha because the market is losing money.
Yep. Okay.
So alpha is the difference between you and the exchanges. Hey, Mike, great to see you. Okay, so one of the things that we really focus on in Trade Ideas is we've spent lots and lots and lots of time showing people how to find ideas. That's all of these channels, different ideas. There is really not a shortage of ideas and trade ideas. That's the name of our game. Okay, we are the masters of idea generation, but there's something very important that everyone must understand, that idea is only idea for the time that you're not involved in it. As soon as you are involved in it, what does it become, Brad?
Well, it's a trade at that point.
That's right, it's a trade, the second part of our name. Trade and ideas. Once it's a trade, it must be risk managed. There's no more moving average crosses, no more tea leaves, cloud piercings. I don't know what else there is to say. But there's no more. You have to manage the positions. So I've mentioned this before, that we are the only firm that is squarely focused on your P&L, your equity. Everything that we're doing right now is focused on you to see what's going on with your money, do better with it, and make corrective action when that corrective action is indeed needed. Okay? So there is no other platform that I am aware of. Okay? And
well, I know you didn't say it, but what you're hovering over right there is our P&L graph that gives you a real visual indication as to how your portfolio did from the beginning of the day. So
that's right.
You can really see the jigs of the market and how that affected your portfolio.
You get to see the P&L and percentage swings. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I can't say how critical it is for you all to be able to know that this happens and what this feels like, because without having an understanding of that, you will not be able to profit and take advantage of it. So let me get back into the helicopter for 1 second. And remember, I've said this before. Do you know how it's like to be up 23,000? Well, you wouldn't unless you actually practice doing it. It's the same thing that Brad, you and I have discussed umpteenth times with professional golfers and all other whether it's artists or athletes who excel at what they do, they practice, 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 and continue to practice, okay? So I learned how to do better by watching what happens in simulated mode. If you are relatively new to trading, or even like, notice here, Brad, I mean, I've been trading for Lord knows how many years, right? But
Lord knows, we won't even say, right?
The Lord does know. I've been trading for many, many years, since the mid 90s, okay, and it's 2020. And I still have to practice what I'm doing, okay? So everyone, watch real quick as I take you to the transition that I want to demonstrate as kind of the thing that we want everyone to really understand takes place when you're in a professional trading environment. Okay, so this is what, Brad? Simulated trading, correct?
That's right.
All right, and you saw these positions: X, AUVI, DHT, Hertz, ENG, and Kodak. I'm gonna go to right here on Brokerage Plus where it says connected to simulated trading, and I'm gonna disconnect. Boom, it is all gone. Now I'm going to connect to my live account, Interactive Brokerage. Okay. And I'm going to show you what I was doing. So once again, because I'm getting a sense of what's going on in simulated mode, I'm able to translate that into some of the same positions that I'm working on in real mode. So you saw that I was in AUVI in simulated mode. I was in DHT in simulated mode. Okay. And I'm in Kodak in simulated mode. One of the things I love in trading, Brad, is stocks that showcase what I call kind of like pent-up kinetic energy. And here at Kodak, which, you know, we've talked about for many, many times here, from before the news, after the news, it runs up to 60. Who was the poor guy that bought that? I have no idea. And then comes all the way back from 60 to roughly 5.5. And it's really been just digesting, consolidating. And right here, okay, right here, guys, D.E. Shaw, a very large, very astute hedge fund, bought 5% of the company. And it's been staying here pretty much getting ready to, or what I would say is coiling before what it seems like will be an explosion above 20 very, very soon. These are the kinds of moves that create potentially generational wealth, not simply just profits. And I take pride in being able to demonstrate that I work to try to work on the same, I am not better than you in any way other than I actually try to do what I say and take the risk. So all trading is taking risk. Thomas, don't worry. Lots of people in trading are lost. That's why we're going to be talking about our education. Okay. So George, in terms of D.E. Shaw buying Kodak, that's mainstream news. Yeah, it's a news story. You can just pull it up and read about it. But I'm just showing you kind of what it looked like on the charts. It was like right around here. And so it's still digesting this news and kind of getting ready to, again, getting ready. At least what it looks like. You always have to manage risk, ladies and gentlemen. Always have to be managing risk. Notice, okay? Notice the incredibly, Brad, wild swings that sort of went all through today, right? It tells you that if you're expecting the slow and steady elevator ride in the stock market when you're trying to capture alpha, you can forget about that. We talk about the mutual fund game and how we're not sure exactly what they do, but it certainly doesn't seem to be like capturing alpha because you're paying fees and they're not making you any money. Here, I'm actually capturing alpha. I'm not paying anybody any fees. And I have the tools and the simple skills to be able to manage this without the kind of stress that is attributed to relatively active investing. Although Brad, to be fair, being a gentleman in his late 40s, I'm not really that active per se. Like, I mean, I'm trading here and there, and I'm getting into some holly trades too. A lot of times I get into holly trades and try to stay in them to see if I can.
Well, I think your style has evolved quite a bit over the years, probably one because of you do other things now. And so you found a way to incorporate trading into basically your lifestyle. And so it's just a different style. Everybody's got their own personal style that you need to find.
Right, and you do need to find it. But what I say is that it doesn't really have to be that hyperactive, get in 5 seconds later, you're out sort of trading. I think the problem is between the left and the right wings of investing, where on the one side it's here, manage my money, I'll pay you fees. And then you get the statement that, hi, you're down 5%, thank you very much. Where then on the other side, you've got the, hey guys, I just made $100,000. It only took 2 minutes. Neither of those are sustainable. And that's why so many people are frustrated in the stock market, which is why we created Trade Ideas. And we are working so hard to take it to the next level for you to be able to see what it is that you're really doing to that end. I want to, although it's not really ready yet, you guys notice that there's a tab called the calendar. Very soon, notice how empty it is. Brad, it's so sad.
It won't be empty for long.
It won't be empty for long. Very soon, we are incorporating a fully comprehensive trade tracking system that will track everything you do, especially starting with simulated mode and then later on real trades, to be able to help you see a pattern in your own trading. Right now, the brokers and everybody else, they do primarily nothing, so that what you do is you give your money away. You know, they want to make it hard. They want to, like, oh, trading's so hard, you just can't do it, go be a doctor. You know, this is not the case. Trading does not have to be hard. It's simply a transaction and managing risk. Once you buy something, you're in it, you own it, and then the price fluctuates. Then you work with the price fluctuations. So are there any questions so far? So let's see, let's look at NIO.
Yeah, this was a great call by Steve, who's our curator of the trade of the week.
My goodness.
Just a beautiful call. Had a little bit of building pent up demand over the first 2 days, and today it just busted out on a gap up.
So David, thank you for pointing out Steve's beautiful trade on NIO. And this is something that we do to help you guys understand what we're about. We publish a Trade Ideas Trade of the Week that's free for everybody to give you a sample of human meets machine. It's not an AI generated trade, it's a curated trade, but it's curated by going through our various systems to find something where we say, okay, you know what, this is something that we think, based on a lot of stuff that we're doing, everybody might benefit from it. And NIO is something that I want to really bring up because it points to, Brad, this wonderful part that everybody, if you don't use this, you're really behind. Okay, everybody see this right here? Brad, you do that thing where you highlight it. Or is that not on GoToMeeting?
That's not on GoToWebinar, that's Slack, but
Dang it.
But we can see your mouse, right? We can see your mouse cursor.
Okay. Well, Thomas, by the way, don't you worry. You're going to understand everything very, very soon. But before I tell you about those things, Thomas, let's take a look at similar. So you got NIO, which was just destroying it, right? Well, let's take a look at its competitors, okay? Because this is how you find some of the other names that might not have, you know, gotten to go. So Abhishek, the similar tab should be in the single stock window, Brad, right?
Yeah, if you have a somewhat of a recent version, you're going to have the similar tab there.
Yeah. So
this also correlates with our new channel that we have. We've got an EV related channel, which is just looking at electric.
And absolutely, and I'm going to get into that. But just from the point of NIO, you can quickly go Yeah, you should do upgrade. We're constantly adding new functionality all the time. So if you're not upgrading, that in our case, I understand with Windows, believe me, I understand with Windows, but we're not Windows. Okay. Your fear is understandable, but it's not warranted in this case. Okay. So let's take a look at price. And so what I love about this, so we were NIO, and you can see just some of the other competitors, right? Here's one, by the way, Brad, that's been setting up so nicely, and it looks like it could do something NIO-ish very soon. So this way, it just lets you kind of drill in to, so NIO, NIU, you can see lots of stuff happening in the motor vehicle space. Similar tab. I love this, Brad, for a couple of reasons, because really, no indicators. You know my indicator phobia. It's like a math class I never studied for. But it gets you right to the point. It gets you right to where you need to be. And the more squiggly lines and the more complicated that you make the software, the worse it's going to be for you. This is a keep it simple, stupid business, trading, it really is. The less stuff you need, the better you are, the better you have it. So the similar tab is a phenomenal tab that I really want to make sure everybody understands. And if you want to know, of course, what the company does, look at the profile, you can quickly drill down and read it. Same with the news. Why is KNDI trading higher today? An article, you can click on it and you can at least see what some of the news is for whatever reason. Okay, notice how it's all there for you. News, the details, you can see what the insiders are doing. Well, it's kind of obvious, Brad. Nice little pie chart right there. And of course, it's competitors. Sometimes that's really all that you need. Chris, I'm not sure what you mean by wealth charts. And is that our stuff, Brad?
No, I don't think that's our stuff, but we do have a feature called external linking, which is a really cool little piece of tech that allows you to kind of link trade ideas with any number of third-party applications and websites, where when you click on a symbol in trade ideas, it'll go ahead and update the different windows in the other program. And I'm assuming wealth charts probably has that functionality where you can use our external linking to do that. So you click on a symbol in trade ideas and your other charts will update as well.
Yeah. What do you mean the price action switch? Okay. Not exactly sure.
Yeah. So he's talking about on the similar tab, we have two different modes of looking at it. Competitors, it's a little toggle we have over on the right hand side. It's been a while because we don't give as much love to the price action. The price action is really trying to look at multiple time frames and give you something that's behaving in a similar way, something on a longer term basis and also today. And it's not quite as interesting, I don't think, as a competitor.
I don't know, Brad. I just don't know if you're right about the not being as interesting.
I know. Like I said, it just hasn't been given the love yet, and it will get a little bit more love there.
I think only because no one's loving. Brad's a terrible lover. Look, KNDI, notice this pattern. Kind of like came down, basing and coming back up since right around September, heading higher. Now, if you look at this one, very similar. Had a big downswing, but now it's like since September, heading higher. That's really what it's doing. This one is pure pattern recognition. Let's kind of take a look at something. See how we do on the Apple side of the equation, okay? So here's Apple, and here are what some of the, at least what the software thinks is, you can bring it up to some higher, similar price action, okay? Now here, Brad, we've got, what do we got? A lot of corporate.
Well, these are going to all be down. These are going to all be down marginally for the day, just because Apple's down a little bit for the day, nothing major. And it does a lot of position and range filtering to try to find something in similar places.
But you can see, like, This one is competitors, natural, literal competitors that are competing in the same business, but their prices could be totally different. The other one, price action, is a pattern recognition. So we go to Apple, we look at the price action similar things, and you see PPH, and you can see it's kind of doing something similar. Then you go to STRM, a little dip, something similar. It doesn't matter about the price, but just the action. So you have two things built in here. You've got the pattern recognition engine right there. Brad says no love, but I think lots of love. And then the pure competitors. Okay. And once again, if you go to Apple here, you can just see, who is Apple's pure kind of competitor businesses. Okay. Okay. All right. So now that we've kind of covered this, I want to make sure that we touch upon some high level things. The ideas. Man, we use lots of different ways to display data. And one of them is called symbol lists. And this is where we really experiment with what we want to find. And here you have something called the position in a 5-day range. In other words, I can sort this list, and every stock will be kind of at the top of their 5-day range. Look at what's going on here, right? You can see it. I mean, it has to be by definition, okay? So this is how we start to find, okay? How we start to find the search process of some of these fantastic trades. And by the way, when I see this, I have to say to myself, that's an interesting one. I have to really put a price alert here. You've seen me do this before. Okay, this is how we go from idea to trade. We spot something, we see something. If there's really a continuation of momentum, then we are notified through this little pin. Okay. And there are so many ways, again, to find incredible trading opportunities, but these position and range indicators really help you to visualize what you want to see. So for example,
and we have those on all different time frames. I mean, that's your daily.
But I'm just combining the 5-day and today, and I'm going to show you, like, so here ORGO is, I mean, obviously probably gapping up pretty big from whatever was going on, but it's both on 5-day highs and on highs today. PIE, something similar, on highs, and I guess it was after hours on 5-day high and today's high. But as you go a little bit lower, okay, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Okay, so notice OCX. Okay, OCX is still strong, and you can see the volume, right? I'm going to move this so you can kind of. Brad, what is this number right here? It's 59.41.
Yeah, relative volume. So that's taking a look at the current volume right now at this point in time and comparing it to normal, giving you a ratio. So that's a value of just about 60. So 60 times its normal volume. Very significant number.
Right. So something big is going on. We don't necessarily know what it is per se, but that's the kind of thing that helps you to spot the moves that really, really go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to create a price alert, and I'm going to say 170, and just say still looking good. This way I can unemotionally be alerted to what's going on and then make my decision kind of afterward. This is almost like doing the kind of homework where once you see it when the market is on, you don't really have to panic at all because you did it in a state of no pressure.
It's exactly that. It's like real-time homework. You're doing it as you're viewing stocks. And the great thing is that tomorrow or the next day when it triggers, that's going to be the last stock you're probably thinking about. But when that price alert occurs, you're going to pull it up on a chart, and you're in a perfect position to decide whether it's something you do want to participate in or not.
So here I have that price alerts window, and it says status working, which means it's waiting for the alert. It hasn't been triggered. If it was triggered, you would see it over here, and you can switch working, expired, triggered. So this is a very powerful window. And this is how your homework gets integrated. So what I'm going to do is, Brad, let me take a look here real quick. I'm going to hopefully show you symbol lists, nothing exciting, Windows specific filters, nothing exciting that shouldn't detract you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, okay? I'm going to save and share to the cloud. It's called Candidate Days. And I'm going to say save and share. Now, Brad, can you tell people what's happening here? What is this?
Yeah, so that's a cloud link. It's really a great way to not only be able to save your own windows in your own repository, but to be able to share those with some of your colleagues or our support staff, or even allow us to share things with you guys. So through that cloud link, you can share either a layout, you can share a single window, or you can share a couple windows. So it's really incredibly flexible.
Yeah, how do I send it to everybody? Chat?
I think the best way through this program here is through the chat. It's you can see that on your right hand toolbar.
There I am. So, sorry, thanks, Brad. So for everybody, this is another really powerful thing that I wanted to show you guys. For anyone who likes cool stuff, this is a window that I designed, and I just sent it to everybody in this Q&A through this cloud link that makes it easy for us to share information and support you guys. So like when you talk to any one of our support people and you're asking them questions and you want to see what it is that they're doing and how they come up with it, typically what they will do is they will send you a cloud link. And then notice again, I can move any window around. Every window is independent. Okay. Let me move this out of the way and I'll quickly show you what the AI is all about in case you don't know. So we are the only consumer-facing AI system which generates a full trading plan for entries, exits, long-term and short-term. I'm going to explain how all that's happening right now. We have what's called the server-side quantitative combine. And if you guys don't know what a combine is, you think about the NFL, how all the college players are trying out for pro football. They get ranked on their bench press and their sprints and their lateral movements and vertical jumps and how good their teeth look. Oh, sorry, that's a dog show. Brad, stop that. But the quantitative combine is our servers looking at all these different trades that are potentially available for our software that we designed, and it's going through numbers and numbers of statistical calculations to help statistically weed out things that are BS and hopefully put you into stocks that are good. And today there were 12 trades, 6 long, 6 short. I have to say, when a market is behaving the way it's behaved just recently, this is actually a pretty good day because not that much per se was going on. And on a down day, you also had quite a bit of nice shorts. One of the nice ones, of course, was this one. Whoops. Yeah. So right there, I actually traded this one poorly, Brad, as you can see what I did, because I'm a little bit more wimpy than the software, and the software, and because the software has no emotions, it's doing it statistically. This thing gapped down 3.83, so I typically don't like to stay in those too long, thinking that big reversals could happen. But sure enough, Brad, look at that.
Yeah, and it was always seemed to be hovering below that 13 period EMA, right? So you just kind of got out on a bounce.
Yep. But
it happens.
No, absolutely. But everyone was asking, or not everyone rather, but we were having people ask, well, how do you how do you know what to do? How do you get in? Is there an entry? Is there an exit? And yes, there's all of them. Entries, entry times, so you can see exactly what went on. There's a full trading plan that's available to every one of our subscribers, not only from the AI point of view, but in a visual way through even the standard subscription for any single stock. And just from that point of view, I'm going to pull up Dell Computer. And let me dive into a question that someone said, well, what's a smart stop and what's a swing exit? And I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. Real quick, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Here's Dell Computer, the software trade ideas. For any stock you pull up, I'm going to go to another stock real quick, but I'll come back to Dell, NVIDIA. Any stock you pull up, okay? The software does not know if you're about to buy it or not, but it will assume that hypothetically you are. And if that is the case, it's telling you where you should potentially set your statistical exit. In other words, if things don't go your way, you're not going to want to be below this line. That's called the smart stop. But if you happen to already be in it, there's a swing exit line right here. 476. In other words, this thing could still go back down to 476 and still be in this uptrend and bounce from it and go even higher. In fact, if you take a look at a stock like Netflix, okay, let me show you, Brad, how it went right to the swing exit, literally tipped it on the touch, never closed below it, from like here to here, right? And what happened? I mean, I don't know what to say, Brad, but that was a pretty beautiful swing exit. Brad's in shock.
I'm just in shock.
But on a daily chart, you can kind of see that you want to get through the day first, right? And that's when, if you zoom.
Yeah, so like if I was to just say like what the swing exit, it's taking a longer term approach at where that support and resistance is, support in this case right here. If you're looking at the smart stop, it's really a shorter term time frame. If you're intraday trading this, what's your intraday support level at this point?
Yeah, the swing, George, the swing indicator is always there and it's adjusted on the daily. Okay. So as the day happens, it moves up or down, so it won't stay here. The swing indicator will, if Netflix keeps running, it will go up also. If it goes down, it will be penetrated and move lower. So the system works with you, and again, it works for any single stock, does not matter. So back to Dell Computer Corporation, which you can kind of see both on the daily and the longer term. So here's your smart stop. If you were in at 76.6 right here, the software says maybe 70.15 is where you would want to potentially exit if it went below there and reposition. Simply saying, because again, it could potentially at that point come down all the way to, and notice here, Brad, once again, tippy top tippy. Just nailed it.
Yeah, and it's a, you know, when you see a swing exit that far away, you may want to size yourself appropriate, you know, depending on your time frame you're doing. It's different every time.
Of course, but the idea is that how many software vendors, for regardless of what it is that you're doing, you have a complete swing exit, short-term exit, and profit target in every single stock. So this combined with the simulated trading creates the perfect learning experience for you to inculcate how to manage risk in the stock market. In other words, the map is here, the navigation is here. It's like you're driving, you got your Google Maps on, and this is what it is doing for you. It's helping you navigate every single stock. Does not matter if it's something crazy like this. You know, look at this thing. It's like another Kodak. It does not matter the volume. Everything is here, built in. Right. So the whole point is that, George, when we're doing all this stuff, we're really thinking about how does a person work with software to maximize their experience. And the way it does is to not have to look at every chart, and then every chart you look at have to reset up with your indicators and all this other junk. And guys, we've gone through every indicator. There isn't one that works. If there was one, nobody would sell it. And only because, well, we would, but nobody else, right, Brad?
Nobody.
Nobody. Because that's just not how it's done. It's sort of like this chasing your tail for dogs. You know, they want you to chase your tail a little bit and not realize that things are actually a little bit easier than they want you to think. Okay. So let me now jump into, so how are we on the questions, Brad? Where are we in terms of?
We are getting there. I have a couple more. There are two that haven't been answered here.
Yeah, so the similar tab, again, this is a single stock window, so you can go to new, single stock window, and it should appear right here, unless you don't have a current version, in which case then it won't. Yeah, so you probably need to just upgrade your software, as Brad pointed out. So this is the AI, and again, you can look at every AI channel differently. We have 3 of them, and we have an Omni view. Okay, they all kind of do slightly different things. I've given the analogy that it's a little bit like working with your golf clubs. There's a difference between a 5, 6, and 7 iron. Brad, you know that. But is it really that different? Yes. But the idea is to move the ball forward, okay? So our channel bar, you can customize this. You can create your own channels, okay? But of course, we have a channel bar over here. And this channel bar does lots of cool things. It allows you to surf different concepts, like Brad and I were talking about EV related. Don't worry about these windows and why they're here. They're my pinned windows. I'm going to move them out of the way in the meantime. So lots of, we're smart to where we help you get to the interesting stuff quickly. So when motor vehicles are in favor, we'll create some sort of channel for that. As you can see, Brad forced us to create a cannabis channel, him and his pot smoker friends. There's sectors. I love this because just so much information to pop into one view. And the idea is that you have this flexibility with trade ideas to really experiment and look at lots of different things that work for you. Okay, what's working in all the sectors, social media. In other words, we not only track ticks, but in this particular case, we also connect to a partner of ours called StockTwits, which is a social media platform for people that are just trading stocks. And we watch unusual mentions on social media for any kind of stocks. It's called StockTwits activity. Okay, you can sort by it, so you can see what's being talked about the most. And we show you that in real time. Okay. And it's kind of cool, you know, just another way to look at data. Over here is a channel that helps you navigate right to the trading environment. Shall we play a game? Like War Games is trading. So Brokerage Plus, you hit that, you'll see the channel that I had earlier that showed you all the things that were going on. If you're interested in earnings, and I think we are in earnings season, aren't we, Brad? So we're selling the book.
Yeah, there's stuff happening all the time right now.
Good. So let's see. Bob was asking again about Netflix, and I'm just saying that these lines right here are the prepare you lines. They're giving you long and short exits. I mean, there's nothing really you can do when a stock is like doing these W's. I mean, that's very volatile, okay? These W formations. But the idea is that if you can get through the short term, which is today, you might then be able to ride out some of the longer terms. And I actually was, let's see, I was short Netflix on this little rundown, Brad, I think. And I had
Yeah, that was a good app too, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and unlike, and I've done this one time before where I didn't get out, but here I was short right around here, saw it really break 500 and then got out on the bounce, and look where it went. Back up, right off of the swing exit. So that's how that prepares you. All of these stocks have this. Remember, I'm not configuring anything. Okay. Same thing here. On this one right here, you see what's going on. Okay. And there is no way that, you could have caught this after hours move is really one of the things I'm trying to say. So like if you were, let's see, exclude. So you're at 123 at the close. I mean, how could you have known that it would gap down this much? That's impossible. Something, was going on. But you are still within the parameters of your swing exit because this has ran so much. Okay? It ran so high.
Well, I think that does a great job of illustrating, what that is. And that's why you need, if you're going to get in up here, get in at the top of this range, you have to be prepared for something like that to happen. So that's why you got to size yourself appropriately. Correct. So Thomas then asked the question, how do you buy or sell any of this stuff in simulated mode? It's a great question. Let me get back to, I'm gonna do this real quick because there's lots of cool different ways. Let me show you one really cool way that I like. So let me just click on a stock that we hadn't looked at yet. Vox, okay. Do you see this B right here? It's a visual buy button. It says initiate buy. So I'm going to say, okay, let's buy this if it goes to 1170. And notice it automatically placed my stop right here where it thought it was appropriate. So I've now got this thing covered. Okay, you can kind of see my parameters. I'm going to buy it right here, and if it goes all the way back here, I'm going to sell it. That's really kind of your high-level swing trade hypothesis. Okay, so that will execute, that will do everything. But the other way to do it, let me bring back this channel. Okay, is you can simply use these buy or sell buttons. And the third way, okay, is you can right click and you can say trade, and you can set up lots of different ways that you might want to enter the trade. So we have lots of different ways for you to do it. You can configure all of these, but the idea is that you can trade in three basic ways. There's the visual chart trading, which we're talking about right here. And I'm going to say, okay, I was alerted at 170. Get over here, you. Okay. Oops. I was alerted at 170, and I'm going to buy at 177, only because, again, I'm trying to go for this move, the big one. I'm not too concerned about the little stuff, and I've got my auto stop placed 162. So do you guys see how easy that is? Mark, the smart stop is determined for each stock differently. Differently meaning each stock will have a different smart stop based on its own volatility and what it's doing on that day. So, but you have the ability to customize that order so that, like, for instance, you have it custom saying that you want to be putting your stop at the low of the day while you're putting that order in. So correct. You can completely customize it. Correct. Sorry, Mike. There's lots of good stuff we gotta tell people about. Okay, so Thomas, it was very easy. Remember, these buttons are pre-populated for you. So once again, let me pick some random thing that I haven't shown you guys yet. Why is there so much stuff going on? Let's see, hold on a second. What's up? Okay, Snapchat. There's one. I need something that does relatively nothing. Okay. All right, so check this out. I'm going to go short Snapchat if it goes to 26. And I'm going to buy it back if
if it breaks out. So see, just reversed it, opening order, and this is my stop as the buy. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate that. Guys, can't tell you how stoked we are to be doing what we're doing. We're the best at what we do. The best at what we do. Okay. And again, this visual trading, it is so powerful. Because again, you can set it up like right now where you're not doing that much. Okay. Let's look at another one. Twitter. Okay. Here's a stock, you know, once again, it's been running up very strongly. Here's your swing exit, okay? And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna short it if it goes to like 44 and buy it back right here on breakout. Hey, you, I said right here, okay? So you can see, I'm not like, I did this for me because I myself hate fiddling around with formulas, although you can get very advanced here. You can create your own formulas, you can do a lot. And in fact, this is a good segue to get back into the presentation because we're running so late. Hey, Pepe. But one of the things that we do is we really help you get acquainted with the software. And there's so many different ways to do it. Of course, Barry, who's in the trading room, runs a fantastic trading room for us Monday through Friday, trade-ideas.com/trading room. You can get answers to questions there and see lots of different styles. And Barry's doing all sorts of trade ideas, tasks that are very optimized to give you results fairly quickly. Barry's very good at what he does. Okay. Mark, I'm knocking on wood week to 2 weeks before E-Trade is in trading mode, okay? But I will say this, guys, so we used to be part of strategy. So is anyone here familiar with Strategy Scanner on Power E-Trade Pro? Anybody use that? If you're not, Strategy Scanner is Trade Ideas software, but they're going to be, yeah, cool, Mark, yes. So the geniuses at E-Trade now that E-Trade got bought out by Morgan Stanley, I think have decided that you guys don't need that. So they're going to cut that off come January. So you most likely will have to come to us. We will welcome you with loving and open arms. But like I said, those E-Trade guys, geniuses. Okay, we help you in lots of different ways. We have ebooks to help you figure out lots of different things in the stock market. The one that we have right now is called How to Use Earnings Season to Your Advantage, and the one before that was on trading short. And I loved the timing of that one because it really was right when the whole pandemic was in full-blown mode. And if you're new to trading, I actually suggest that you try learning the downside first to make your upside easier. Okay, that's the high level. So if you want the free ebook, please check it out at trade-ideas.com/earnings. There's a daily support session every single day, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Lots of different things that are being taught there, and you can kind of get training product, meaning you can interact with us to get questions answered on all levels, whether it's high-end formula editing or just simple setup. trade-ideas.com/live. As I've told you before, we are a subscription-based service, but in case you really wonder how much it costs, please be aware that you're getting consumer-facing interactive AI for less than $10 a day. I don't know where else you can get anything remotely similar to that. And we often have discounts. But again, I've said this many times before, if spending $2,200 a year on technology that does so much that you just witnessed is too much for you, then you may want to reconsider what it is that you're doing in the financial markets, because it does require that for you to risk some capital. And people ask us, how come can't I get a free trial? And we say you get what you pay for. Free trials are a way to waste everyone's time. Okay, nobody, like free trial is good for Netflix, but it isn't good for this kind of technology. You need to engage with it, and the only way to motivate yourself to engage with it is actually for you to subscribe. And if you're going to do that today, please use our all savings, all caps, to get 15% off your first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. We do a Friday podcast. Sean McLaughlin handles that. We have guests often. Please search on that in your podcast search engine. And we are very active on social media. And while I, your CEO, am continuously banned from Twitter, Facebook, and all social media areas because I'm too much of a patriot, we have other people who are not banned. Please check them out at Trade Ideas, at QuantBot, at Today Trader. Please like us on those other places called Facebook and other places that I don't even want to mention by name, Brad. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email at info@trade-ideas.com or give us a call. Ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful for the time that you spend with us. We are the best at what we do, like the Wolverine and the X-Men. Check it out, and please enjoy the show and join us, because if you will know more. And the more you know, the better you do. That's it. Scott, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. The recording will be up later on tonight or tomorrow, and you get an email reminder with a link on how to find it. Thanks all.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. See you next week.